Hi, everybody. I'm Willem.
And I'm Tim.
And welcome to Hear Me Out Pitch. Well, everybody, it has been a little bit. It's been a bit. Sorry. February was awful, and looks like most of you have been going through that. So hooray. And we're going to try to get this done in the midst of... I know you can't tell that I'm moving. And honestly, I don't think Tim can tell either, but...
I can tell.
There's a few things missing.
There's boxes.
So one of these videos, I just want this shelf to be empty. Or one day you guys are going to be like, that background looks a little slightly different. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But, hi, Tim.
Hello.
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 Well, I think we'll just get into brass tacks. Nothing crazy going on. Just moving and grooving. And I'm not moving that far. So I'm staying in the city where I'm at. And I just needed someplace a little bit cheaper. So
I understand that. I understand that.
Okay. So good place, though. Good place. But just been 4 years. I'm done. So anyway, you all don't want to hear about moving woes and apartments and whatever. But so actually, if you, but we're actually here to talk about another artist and their idea. Well, actually, this is more of a writer and his idea, and he actually commissioned a picture from said artist. So let me make sure. I want to get all the names right. And so this character that we're going to talk about today is called Vin the Ringleader. That's how I've labeled them. And that might be the wrong name to...
Maybe Sword Dancer?
Yeah, probably better name. But this character is Vin by M.A. Hansen. And I'll put the Instagram right here. And then the picture he sent us, and I'll try to put it up right here. And I'll probably have it up a few more times. And this art was artwork that he had commissioned from a page called, I don't even know how to say it, but it's Yixty, and I'll probably put it right here. You've probably up. If it's up, if it's not, I failed and haven't done my job. But yeah, that's who we're talking about today. Send us a whole bunch of stuff and just wanted our thoughts, critiques, which you all say that, like, can you critique this? And it's like, why? We're not professional. Like, thank you guys so much for thinking that. I don't know. I guess since me and Tim do talk about stories a lot, we can talk about what we'd like to see, I guess. But for the most part, these guys are your stories. And I've loved all these characters. I've never been like, oh, this is dumb. So, and don't get me wrong, though. I'm not saying that I've never been gone social media and seen an idea and been like, and that's why I started this. So, but really, I don't think I'd ever do that with someone else's story on this podcast. For a movie that Hollywood put out, of course. For a video game, a book that is published, yeah. But for someone's fun little idea that they put on social media, I could never do that. Even if I didn't like it, I could never do that. That's just not fair. But if that idea were to be posted out in a movie and the movie was lame, that's a different story.
Well, and the movie itself can be lame, the story can be lame, but the characters can be fun.
The character could be fun. There's so much. But again, I'm never going to bring up an artist on social media and be like, well, even if they, heaven forbid, if anyone ever came up with like, share this story. And I was like, So, but so far, no one's ever, everything that's been sent to us has always been creative, fun, or very simple. And they just wanted us to expand. So, yeah. Well, Tim, tell us a little bit about Vin. What do I pay Tim for? He reads stuff and he gives us nerdy backgrounds because he's a fantastical word. Sorry, wow. Brain.
It is a word.
It is a word. Fantastical Just go.
Okay, so Vin, V-Y-N, not V-I-N, like Mistborn.
I thought of that too. I was like,
I'm sure a few of you might. Vin is a sword dancer. Basically, he's in Dungeons and Dragons terms, he is a College of Swords bard.
Did you say college?
College of Swords. You know how each class has their own, like each subclass has a specific like title, like your like barbarian is Path of the Beast, Path of Berserker, that kind of stuff. For bards, it's college.
I just imagine like a bunch of swords are sitting there in desks and a great swords in the front. Well, class, today we're going to talk about stabbing, and it's like, okay, great.
Yes.
Sorry.
I am imagining him to be kind of a College of Swords bard, where he uses a sword and he'd be proficient with it, but he's kind of trying to show off a little bit more than he's, you know, he's trying to show off. That's his goal, because his goal is to spread happiness and joy. And the reason for that is this land has been taken over by the mad god of fear. And so Vin and his traveling troupe, maybe they're not traveling. I don't actually.
No, I think it did say traveling. Wait.
The troupe seems to have no origin.
Yeah, so I would definitely say they travel. In my head, they travel. If that's not how you imagine it, then I'm sorry, but you said the moment I hear like a troupe and they have no origin, I'm like, that's a traveling circus type.
Yeah, I mean it's Molly Mock's troupe from Critical Role: The Mighty Nine.
Yeah,
very first bit. Anyway, so this god of fear went mad and took over. That in and of itself has certain implications that I like. I think that's kind of fun, and I'll get to that in a second. It's not very often that you hear about. I mean, you hear about gods going mad and deciding that they want to just, maybe not even deciding, but just going crazy and destroying things and going wild. But a god of fear going mad has certain implications that I'll talk about in a sec. Anyway, Troupe Master Vin is, according to M.A. Hansen, the creator of this character, Vin is chaotic good on the alignment chart. And he uses fear magic, but he tries to keep it secret, or he'll pose it as other kind of magic, because this land is oppressed by this mad god of fear. When I say when a god goes mad, right? Imagine if nature just went absolutely insane. Imagine if the laws of nature just stopped being laws and they were more suggestions, right?
They're not. So it's like, okay, so we're saying that these gods are, that when you're assigned to a god of this, you have certain rules you should follow. You cannot, you shouldn't break them.
So in terms of Dungeons and Dragons, because that is the medium that I'm the most comfortable explaining in. That's why you guys will hear me explain about Dungeons and Dragons so much. I love that
Try
game.
it. If you haven't done it, try it.
In terms of D&D, the gods have a portfolio. Each god has a portfolio. And what that means is that is their domain. That is their portfolio is what comes with the title of that god. For example, in our D&D world, the one that I created, I have a god that I created, and his name is Celebrian. He was once an elf, and when the original god of light and life was brutally murdered, Celebrian, being one of the most devout followers, ascended and took on that mantle and those powers for himself to keep light and life going forward, moving forward. His portfolio, and for those of you who are art students or have taken art classes and know what a portfolio is in the art sense, it's very similar. The portfolio is basically, if you took everything that is part of that deity and their powers, or in the art sense, everything that the artist has created, every work of art, you put it in some kind of container, whether that's a box, a file on the cloud, or wrapped up in in a deific vessel to wield these powers of creation and life itself. Celebrian has in his portfolio, it includes life, right? Which in the most broad sense of the term means that he is basically he has at least some domain over everything that is alive, that has a heart that beats, that has a soul, that inhabits its own vessel, not necromancy. Obviously, that's its own portfolio. But that's what that is. So the fact that fear, which my world also has a god of fear who has not gone mad, might have given me ideas.
No, I don't need that.
It's okay. Our next campaign, I'll step away from that stuff. Anyway, the portfolio of fear itself would be very, very simple. Fear is just an uncomfortable feeling that that is derived from feelings of danger and worry, and something bad is going to happen, right? And so the portfolio of fear itself would be, again, it would be very simple. That portfolio just encompasses everything that is fear, everything that causes fear, everything that might drive away fear, right? Anything tied to fear as a mechanic in this world, which, because you said they're human and because they have humanity and all of that, humanity and all living things are affected by fear, because we all are afraid of different things. We're all uncomfortable about the idea of being hurt in one way or another by something, right? And so when the god of fear goes mad or crazy, I read that and I immediately imagined, oh no, what happens when all rationality and common sense is taken away and left behind with just fear? And when people are left with just raw fear, they tend to freeze, or they tend to run, or they tend to fight. Right? The fight, flight, or freeze. And I imagine that's kind of what this section of this world would just be. It would just be impulsive fight, flight, or freeze. Right? So some people would just they'd get into random fist fights or sword fights or whatever because somebody walked up behind them and now they're terrified for their lives, and they don't think, oh, maybe it's just somebody's walking behind me and I didn't notice them before. It's immediately that fear. And some people freeze in the moment and end up getting brutally murdered, or they end up, in dangerous situations where the rational mind would tell you to do something else.
They can't save like their family or something. Like I imagine like a mother freezes and then her children are taken away or worse in front of her. Just like things like that. I've been also
that was a lot more dark than I expected.
Sorry, I've just been imagining like what does fear cause, and I've been thinking this god more of like Pennywise, the dancing clown sort of thing. Mm-hmm. They just loiter above, they feed off the fear, they want more fear. This god wasn't getting enough, and then finally it was just like, nope, we're gonna make it as scary as possible. The fears come alive. So I think I think I like yours more, of everyone kind of like freaking out.
Yeah.
I think mixing a little bit of both. I'm imagining that people are either fight or flight, and that's why I think a troupe of a traveling circus or his performances, at least for Vin, would come, and how he's bringing people joy. I think that's a really fun idea. Like, he goes to these very desperate villages, and many people have suffered. They are in a constant state of fear, and he just brings a little bit of light, even
Yeah.
though I'm going to say Mr. Hansen has mentioned that Finn is hiding something. And and it's funny because, and we're just gonna go into this because you guys have seen the picture, and and he kind of made me laugh because he goes, I just realized that a lot of the characters that you guys have been submitted to you guys have monsters or beasts or something dark inside them. And I'm like, well, you know what? We could probably go through, like, we could probably name any pop culture figure, and someone in that little bit of literature has Harry Potter. Harry is always confronted with Voldemort in the back of his head.
Well, and Harry himself is a Horcrux.
Exactly.
Unintentionally, but yeah.
But still, and then, or, Luke always having the dark side feeding on him. He's got the Emperor, or even just, it even doesn't have to be the Emperor.
It's the beast within trope.
Ooh, Anakin.
Right? Like, the beast within is a trope in media where we like to personify the dark impulses and desires within ourselves.
Because it's better to do that than admit that it's yourself.
Yeah. Which is fine.
Anyone listening to that last bit went, ah.
Well, and that's part of what makes you human. Like, we're not perfect, and that's the point, right?
Absolutely.
But I like the idea that Vin, in this little blurb at the beginning where it explains that about his magic and things, right? It says, and I quote, "He usually keeps his magic a secret from everyone, or poses it as magic from another primeval." Or in other words, one of the gods. The gods in this world are called primevals. I like that. Primeval just means something from the first eon, the first
I honestly
age.
didn't get that word. I was like, what does he mean by that? So Thank you.
Primeval literally just means it is of the first. It is one of the beginning of,
so it's God
of a thing. Yeah.
So he's posing as he's blessed by.
He's pretending he's pretending his magic comes from other sources, but I like to think that because he dwells in a realm, in a continent, in this land full of fear, right? Fear would be the easiest source to draw power from and feed yourself. And I feel like here's how I would write the character, at least partially. And I'm not saying that I'm better than M.A. Hansen. I don't want to do that at all. This is how I would do it, given what I've been given. The Vin would be drawing power from this fear, because that's pretty much the main source of energy in this realm, in this area. And so he would be drawing upon that and using that, to put it into Sanderson terms, that investiture to feed his own powers.
Well, sorry, and I didn't mean to, it's just, so we have fear, but he's also connected with poison, venom, and toxins.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually I think that kind of goes hand in hand with the fear, because there are toxins that paralyze, there are venoms that can make you sick, they can make you freeze, that can, I think I already said, be paralyzed, but still, just all these chemicals I think that's the fun idea that it's not really fear that Vin works with. I like the idea that he is just emitting chemicals. And so when he performs, what he gives off is more cheery and lovely. But then, when he gets angry, it turns into, vile or maybe I think that so he has the picture, and I'll try to show it up for everybody. It looks like a dragon. It looks
I've got a thought. In Critical Role, campaign 1, Vox Machina, right? Percy, and this is spoilers for any of you who don't want spoilers, skip ahead a bit. Gone, good.
I gotta go. Just kidding.
Percy was, for those of you who don't know the story, Percy was a human whose family was brutally murdered in front of him.
Vampires, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, he's the gun.
Yes,
he's the
powder box.
Thank you.
Yes. He escaped barely with his life, and made a deal with a shadow demon. This shadow demon became kind of the shadow over his shoulder, right? Giving him ideas in his sleep. That's where the powder box idea came from, was this shadow demon. And it gave Percy certain abilities, and it let him, or it fed off of the souls of the people that he killed. And so I really like the idea that Vin has something similar, where maybe it's not he made a deal with this creature, rather because he's using fear to fuel himself, right? He's converting, he's basically purifying. You think of like a water purifier, right?
Okay.
You've got, I'm thinking of the most basic versions, right, where it's larger stone, smaller pebbles, then sand, then charcoal, then sand, then charcoal, then sand, then charcoal, and so on. And that allows the water to flow through, and all of the impurities are caught by the stones, the charcoal, the sand, all of that. And so I feel like this is kind of similar, where he's filtering out that raw power so that he can use it himself, but then he's left with the residue. He's left with the impurities, and maybe that's what eventually formed into this other self.
Some reason I'm imagining, this is what I'm imagining, and because I really like the residue. I like the idea that he admits everything, and then everything else, the sludge, like almost like in Fern Gully, Fern Gully, with the pixies, the bat, played by Robin Williams. Human tails. Humans don't have tails. You've never seen Fern Gully?
I haven't. Oh, I was thinking more Howl's Moving Castle.
That too. That works too. Or No Face. I could really see it secreting like No Face, but that basically is the same sludge animation that's in every Studio Ghibli movie. But yeah, I think just the oozing, I like it. A symbiote.
Well, and I like how, right, because it's again back to the toxin and poison and all that, like the smoke surrounding this shadow beast, right? The shadow, Vin's shadow, it's like a greenish mist, which I think is really cool. One, from an aesthetic sense, because green mist is always, I don't know, green is my favorite color. A green mist.
Oh,
a green mist surrounding
green
things,
though, Tim.
like a dark green.
Like, are we talking like St. Patrick's Emerald Green? The one
little
that's
bit darker.
coming up? Darker?
A little bit darker.
So forest.
Yeah.
Like the shirt me and you have.
Yes.
Okay. Me and Tim do have matching shirts.
We do.
We're wearing for St. Patrick's Day. Anyway,
I like the color green, and I like how green can be used to symbolize a plethora of things, including poison and death,
and health,
as well as health.
That's ironic.
And I think this picture is, I think it's really cool because it's right. The smoke surrounding this shadow is that greenish, and it looks more poisonous. But then there's the green of his cloak.
I love that's with purple, and purple's my favorite color. So
purple is a good color too.
I'm loving the design, and it must have
aesthetically very pleasing. I
really
like it.
I love his. But my question is, are his eyes, like his eyes remind me of, for anyone who's seen Chainsaw Man, his eyes look like any of the demon's eyes. They look like cat's eyes or Maki, you know. Mm-hmm. So, and not the Maki that we know.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
No, is it Machina? Oh, darn, I can't think of it. There's too many. Anyway, just why, it's giving a dragon. To me, it looks like a dragon. And, I'm just imagining, and I don't know if, because it says that in his past, there was, where'd it go? First off, again, I still love the idea that they tried. Like, I imagine that this is a world that the big bad won, and it's horrendous, like nuclear fallout almost, and it's just fear, gross, and they travel around trying to do a little bit of hope. I think it's really fun because I still think the idea of him admitting good toxins that make people like laughing gas, not like laughing gas like Joker gas, but like they feel good. Even if you have to like help people fake it, I still like the idea a lot. But no, that's not what I wanted. Where is it? He says he's deeply traumatized by an event that made an entire town get enveloped by toxic smoke, killing all but him and one other, and that's the little girl that he adopts as a little sister named Vivi. Now, I'm imagining that either he hovered over her and protected her, or I don't know, because you put the idea that fear makes everyone fight, flight, or freeze, and I think that Vin froze at that young age. But for some reason, and I don't know how it would work, I just imagine this cloud comes over this village and everyone freezes and they all start dying. And I don't know if maybe he tried to fight, but I'm just imagining this shadow comes up and you think it's a shadow, and through this haze comes this big metallic black dragon and just stares at Vin. And he's like, So now my question is, Tim, can a dragon and a human connect in some weird way?
Well, it depends on the lore that you're looking at.
Well,
because if you look at Dungeons and Dragons, not really. I'm sure there's magics that can. If you're looking at the inheritance cycle,
is that
kind of Aragon?
Aragon, okay.
Kind of. They bond more to the soul, but they are their own separate beings. I'm trying to think of a media where they bond and become kind of one creature, and I can't really think of any.
You know what vibe he's giving me now? Maleficent. And that's the kind of dragon I'm imagining.
Okay.
But I don't want to say that he turns into a toxic dragon, because like, why would a human, or is he not human? Why would he have not been there? Maybe do you think he is a normal dragon? Because it says that an event that made an entire town get enveloped by a toxic smoke, killing all but him. Could have he been the reason for it? Maybe was a young dragon, or I don't know. Like and this is why I'm like, what happened? Like, I love these sort of things. And this type of stuff.
What if?
Okay.
the reason that his shadow takes that form is because that's what he's afraid of, because that's what he was traumatized by,
Is the dragon.
is that dragon. And so that memory and that fear of that dragon has altered his shadow and the darkness within him. His other self, his viz.
I still think that I still think the sludge idea, because I think everything that he admits, he cleans out. He's like, I think the idea of him being you said you likened him to an air purifier.
He's a Brita. He's a Brita filter.
I imagine he's literally going town to town and he is taking it on himself, like John Coffey style. And he is taking out all the hurt and he's trying, and it just builds inside and he has to let it out. And if he doesn't let it out properly, it can consume him. And I think I like that idea, but I know that it says that he has another side. But honestly, the idea that this man is going about and using his powers to more filter out everything. So my question is, why would a human boy have these powers? And why would a dragon spare him in this event? How did he save the little girl?
I would imagine that probably if we're going with the dragon probably just missed seeing, because the dragon's not gonna be worried about two survivors in a whole town. As for the magic part, right? The very second sentence in this entire thing is, this is a land brimming with magic.
And it's based off of medieval Europe and Arabic countries. So that means that there could be a weird crossover of jinn. Could you imagine a jinn dragon? Ooh. I know. What if he's jinn?
Cool.
What if he's not human and he's more jinn-like? Imagine if you were. Could you imagine a world where there were not that you weren't half elf, you're half jinn, just like in what's that called? Rick Riordan wrote it. There's a series. Is it the Red Pyramid? The Red Pyramid series? They're half jinn, right?
I don't remember. I only read the first book.
And if I am saying that wrong, I'm so sorry. But genies, jinn. Ooh, that kind of helped me change it. Because now his smoke is kind of imagining more of a genie's smoke, like a genie's lamp instead. And that kind of just changed everything for me. It's oh, wait a minute. I still think a weird hybrid of a dragon would be very interesting.
Cool.
Or just the dragon, the dragon staring off, and he is holding this younger neighbor of his as everyone else died, and he covered her mouth, or actually that's where his powers could manifest. What?
Again, just the Brita filter.
I know,
it works.
But just imagine how he holds on to her.
I can imagine lives. He's holding her and filtering out the toxins from her into himself and giving her pure air to breathe. And
we could just
in this little aura around them. I can see I can imagine there's just this green haze over this town, almost like what I imagine Mistborn would look like if the mist was green.
Exactly, that's what I've been kind of picturing.
But then, But then there's just this bubble of pure air around him, and
more maybe even a lighter green. It just looks different. Instead of being this haze, it's a green smoke. It's what we see that's around him in this picture. But when he gets done with it, we just see this little goopy hand shadow grab his ankle, and he's ah! So that's when it could begin. And the thing is, we could never see the dragon again until all of a sudden it just lands and it looks down, and dragons have odd, because I imagine that it looks at him and it cocks its head and it notices the different shape and cloud. It can sense different poison.
Yeah.
It breathes out a little bit and it's it's not worth it. But when it lands one day, he's ooh, what did you become? So I think that would be a fun little altercation between the two. Ooh. Because really, the big bad is going to be the god of fear.
Yeah.
And this dragon is just enjoying this world because why not? It's a metallic black dragon. It doesn't care. It's not like, oh, let me just set like the god's like, I'm going to hurl some of my, minions at this thing. And the dragon's like, I'm pretty scary too. Like, you can't mess with me.
Also, it's okay. He doesn't know that black dragons aren't metallic in D&D.
Am I saying it wrong?
Metallic dragons are metallic, and then there's the chromatic dragons.
Oh, I said it wrong.
But I do like the idea of like a or like a
isn't
metallic
black poison though?
Black is acid. Green is
poison. You've let me just be a fool for like
I
20
just
minutes.
let you. It doesn't all have to follow the same rules.
I know, but I just imagine that because it's like acid and I don't know. I think it would work. I imagine that big one that we fought that one time, and he just was scary.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
We've talked about that, and we've talked about a lot of. I think I just have to say that when he is found out about what he's hiding, that needs to be devastating. Like the whole, I don't know how, I don't know if I think it would be if it were a dragon that attacked him or whatever.
It'd probably be during a show.
And I imagine it would be when either the dragon or the god, I think the dragon calling him out and all his fear coming out. He can't because I imagine that Vin doesn't freeze when he's scared. He acts. And that's how he saved Vivi. And so I'm imagining that the one time he does freeze, though, is when the dragon lands and, Vin gets ready. And, I would say he's a pretty strong sword bearer at this point because he went to a lot of years at the sword college or whatever. And I think it would be fun for the dragon to call him out. For the dragon just to go, I know what you are. You can't hide from a dragon what you are. And Vin gets more angry. And then I imagine it pooling under him. The shadow starts pooling and it starts solidifying and starts becoming, toxic, everything. And even the air around him that once was emitting everyone's, making everyone happy. It starts making everyone sick and caustic. And he's becoming the very thing that he, has been he's becoming a vessel. And I feel like when it's revealed, though, I imagine the god of fear going, like that makes him look, those sort of instances, like this big instance of a god going, what's happening over there? Like a god never looks down. There's a few times where the little humans do something and he goes, So
imagine Odium and Venli.
Yeah. Like just something that makes them just go, Just they turn, just they take their time. Like a god paused and looked. And that's the type of moments that I'm like, yes. And I think that it needs to be when he is found out, it needs to be something that's like devastating. Because it isn't like with Percy when they were like, oh, we know that he's kind of grouchy, but whatever. Like he's been hiding this the whole time. He's never gotten angry when he fights. He describes that when he fights, he dances rather than fight. So I imagine in a few fights they had, he's laughing the whole time. Like, oh, you fight like a girl. Oh, wait a minute. No. And then Vivi comes out of nowhere and punches him across the face. She's better than you. Like that sort of thing. Like they never, ever had issues. But when this dragon or whatever, when it is revealed, he's showing that dark, gross side. Ew. And I'm imagining like a ringleader mask coming on him. And it's just this flat spine. Like, imagine the face of the shadow, the dragon head. I imagine it's just this flat, goes up along his face. And it's just showing this like twisted ringleader type mask. So
yes,
that's what I'm thinking. So I'm Ooh, we haven't had a discussion like this in a fat minute. That's not true. We did this. Yeah, it has been. It's been like a month. Because I know you guys are like, but Willem, you came out with the episode like 2 weeks ago. We recorded a week before, and then yeah. Anyway, sorry. I had one more point. I had a few more points actually, and a question for you. Because we talked about theories, and you gave a little bit of critiques. I don't know. I think for the most part, I feel like with this character, Mr. Hansen, you just have to really make sure that. I just like the idea that he does keep this so well hidden. And I like what Tim added, though, and I know that that probably is not how you imagine it, but the idea that this, whenever he works for people and helps them in any way, I do imagine that there's just something fighting him back, and he has to go alone and like secrete it or rage or lash out.
Maybe he just buries it.
Ooh! Oh!
Stores it up.
Little deposits of hate and fear and everything that they've been feeling. And all of a sudden the fear god's going, ooh, piece of candy. Oh, piece of candy. You know what you gave me? Ooh. Oh my gosh, no. And imagine the double whammy when, like, let's say Vin kills the god. I mean, kills the dragon. You know, one fell swoop. Like, he just kills it, but he does it in anger. And he lets it out, and you hear clapping. And then we just see the god going, ooh, you really are so good at your job. You bring everyone joy. I mean, I sure am happy, aren't you? Clap, everyone. Clap. It slaps his hand, and everyone starts, and they can't control themselves. He's like, Vin, such a good job. And you've been leaving me so many presents all these years. And that's when I would imagine, like, these gross zombie things. I don't know. Would you want it manifest? Would you want it zombie?
You said little deposits, and my immediate thought, and it's just because I'm reading Mistborn.
Ooh!
If you haven't read Mistborn, skip ahead.
We need to stop doing this, Tim.
Read it. It's my favorite book series ever.
It's one of
It is absolutely amazing.
Are you just thinking of the little beads of stuff?
Yes.
Okay, we'll just leave it at that.
Yes. For if you know,
you know. But like little,
and maybe
beads.
that's how he defeats Big Bad.
I mean, I don't want to take it too much. I would rather say that
I think it would take forever.
It would take forever, but I really think that I like the idea that the god just grabs all these deposits from Vin and just uses them against him. But the question
or maybe Vin hides the deposits, and then the God of Fear is like, I know where it is.
I want those. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's just candy.
It's me.
They're yummy. Look. Oh. Okay, really quick though. I know that we kind of went off with the dragon thing, but I did want to ask, could there be a way that he is a somewhat paladin of this god? He got tied to this god at the inception, like his inception of being a oath-bound person to this god was the instance, and was the chaotic thing that happened to this village that he was in. And it would be even worse if he was like, you're gonna go and you're going to make deposits. You're going to make these in every village. That's your job. Your job is to gather everyone's fear. And he tried to rebel and bring everyone happiness, but no matter what, everyone's fear and stuff went into him, and it had to be deposited anyway. No.
I have an issue with the way that you're thinking about the God of Fear. And it's the fact that the God of Fear was described as mad, crazy, insane. Like, you hear Mad Titan, Thanos, right? Thanos wasn't I mean, Thanos was mad, but he wasn't like off the rails, I guess. Like, yeah, he wanted mass genocide.
So you think that this god cannot?
I'm imagining more. Not that. I'm imagining more.
Do you think like King
primal?
Boomy?
More primal, more animalistic, more a force than a being with thought.
Man, when I heard that the Fear King, like, I don't know, like, did it say that he had gone mad? Or did it say that
Yeah, ever since
Fear's grasp?
the primeval of fear went mad and took over.
Okay.
Blotting out the sky with his magic.
Well, sometimes people describe that as it just was like, I'm done, I want more, and it took over. They describe it as mad. But I do like the idea of it being, what if we did a little bit of both? What if there are moments where it has consciousness and it has good thoughts?
Taravangian.
Kind of.
Pre-Odium Taravangian.
Kind of. I think the idea that...
If you know, you know.
You know, you know. I think that when you have so much... Like, I think that when it has been clawing and killing so many other primeval gods, I think it gets so much... Like, because I would argue that people would say Killmonger was mad. He kind of was.
Yeah.
He was. I think he had a goal, but he was doing it in such a mad way. And I think that, you know, it really is a suggestive word. Not suggestive. That's very much the wrong word. It is not up for debate. I can't think of it. It is... my brain.
Subjective.
This is why I hired Tim.
It took me a minute to get there.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
My brain is doing numbers all day. I'm like, I can't think. Subjective. I think it's funny. I was gonna get a minor in English when I first started college. I was like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take English courses and I'm gonna really forward my writing skills. And here I am, like, struggling with words. Maybe I'm just getting old.
But I think it's the English language is just terrible.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it can just be a pain. But I think that it is subjective, and I think that this god, I don't think it sits on a throne like, la, la, la. I don't know. I don't think it's just also this tempest that goes around. I love a god that can stare at our main hero and just look at them and go, you're not going to make a difference. Like, I love those type of moments in stories. I love them so much. I love when the big villain just stares and it's like, but the reason why I love those moments so much is probably one of the biggest reasons why they're talking to the main character. It's because there's a little part of them that's scared. That's why I love it. Like, the first time that I mean, I guess we're talking about Brandon Sanderson, but with the first time Odium talks with Dalinar for the first time, I was like, he's getting a little nervous. There's just a little bit of him, not a lot, but there's still just a little bit of him going.
Odium noticed.
He noticed, exactly. There's a moment, I love when a mortal can take a god's attention. I love it. And that's why I love the idea of either Vin has been, funny enough, Vin having a god. Yep. Mr. Anderson, are you a fan? I mean, Mr. Hanson, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Hanson. Are you a big fan of Mistborn? Because we see you. I don't know. I think that this story, for the most part, at least his character, he's a lot of fun. I definitely would want to watch him perform with his, because I imagine he performs with the swords, and I don't know, like, what does that mean? Is he like sitting there and he's got like, is it Vixie or Vinny?
It's dancing, right? Where have you ever seen like those sword performers on the street? like in
No.
YouTube videos and stuff, where they have got like their double swords and they're dancing with the swords and stuff.
Okay.
That's kind of what I imagine, but utilizing that also in like
He's got Vivi against a wall. All right, here we go. Vivi, hold still.
uh,
Free. No, I think. No. I think for the most part, I don't really have much to say other than the idea is interesting, and I think that it's such a dark world, and having Vin doing his best to bring people just a little bit of joy. I think that's such an honorable character. Like that's a good character. We love those type of characters. We've written a bunch like that. And
Mhm.
I can't get enough of that type of character. And I hope that when you keep continuing your story, I just want to see how he brings light back. Like, just I imagine there's a point where in your story, the sky opens and the sun hits Vin for the first time. He's just like, oh. But yeah, I don't have any more really thoughts really. I think we'll just keep blabbing on. But I don't have much. I think that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been about an hour.
Yeah. That's been really good. But again, though, I think the biggest thing, though, when his troop discovers, if you ever decide, but I think when and if they discover, that needs to be a scene that would crush the viewer, listener, audience in any way. That needs to be one of those scenes that you're like,
Evie's death.
Mm.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
It needs to be one of those powerful scenes where you're just like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like whether everyone, and honestly, it probably would be that when it is revealed, everyone would think he is a servant of this mad king god. And it would be terrible. He doesn't bring joy. He's stealing he's just feeding off of it. Like that would be the way they twist it. And it would just be it'd be a hard moment for him to get back up. But like all our good heroes, when they hit rock bottom, they get back up. And I'm sure Vin will be able to get out of it and win. So yeah, I got nothing else. Do you have any more final thoughts with Vin before we close it off?
I don't.
That was a lot of fun.
It was good. The character concept is fun.
So, and thank you for your information that you sent. Honestly, it really helped because we did try it. Was it Saturday?
Yeah.
To be fair,
we had just gotten done playing D&D for 7 hours. I had gotten up really early because I had to work that morning, and it was like 9 in the evening.
So we had that little powwow, and Tim was like,
because daylight savings is a thing, technically it was actually 10.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So,
jeez. It was
we were both a little fried.
We tried. We were going to talk, and then we're like, and Tim was like, I want a little more, and you gave us a little more.
And that was very helpful.
And it really helped me imagine the world that Vin was in.
Yeah. So. The most important part, the most important thing for creating a character, and this goes for Dungeons and Dragons, any book series, any character concept that you have. The most important thing, you can give them a cool name, you can give them a cool backstory, but you got to give them motivation. You got to give them a reason to get up in the morning, to get moving, to go, to do what they're going to do. And when we got Vin's motivation, that's when I was able to really kind of got it. I can do this. I can talk about this character.
If they were just to given us the picture and like, this is his name, this is what he does, maybe. And we've done that. We have, and we could, but sometimes we don't want to be stepping on toes. Now, if you're just a random artist and you're like, here's a random thing I drew, make something up, I'd be like, ooh. But when we know that you guys have made these characters and you've spent time, like I could not imagine taking one of Tim's like a character that he made in D&D and just being like, I'm just gonna play with this character now, and you're just gonna have to deal with what I decide to do. Like that would just be so mean. And if he did ever say, hey, I want you to play this character, I would do my best to. So anyway, this was fun. And
It was.
Mr. Hanson, sorry if you're like, stop calling me that. So Hanson, because he's so handsome. I'm so sorry.
Thank you for the character concept. Thanks for trusting us enough to talk about it.
And we hope we did. We hope you liked it. This is an episode just for you, and we hope that the rest of you enjoyed it. And we encourage anyone to bring us up some characters and stories and brief. We like them brief. If you send me a book, I struggle, and we've not had a book. Actually, send me a book. I'll read it. No, I don't read. Who reads? I'm just kidding. But that was a lot of fun. And if things go well this week, you guys might be getting 2. That's right. 2 episodes. Because
I found a story that I wrote in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I never actually wrote the story, but I wrote like...
Oh, and Tim, wait a minute. What kind of genre was it? What kind of genre is it?
It's sci-fi. I know.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's another sci-fi one, and it's also fantasy because it's space dragons.
Ooh, we'll leave it at that. Don't tell me no more.
I'm not going to give you anything else. You can imagine space dragons. And yeah. Anyway, that was a fun episode. You have anything else to say?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, I thought this was a fun episode. I look forward to the next. And yeah, you guys know the drill at this point. Just love each other, be kind, and remember, you can be creative. And because it's your creation, you're not allowed to be judged for it. And until next time, we'll see you later, pitches.
Bye, everybody.